One of my favorite excerpts from the book Atomic Habits is about the subject of motivation. The author says, everyone lacks motivation sometimes. Even really successful people, they feel the lack of motivation too sometimes. But the difference is, the really successful people, they find a way to show up despite those feelings of boredom. Hey there, I'm Dina and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be teaching you what I learned about the secret to achieving your goals from the book Atomic Habits. So I'm just going to jump right into it and tell you what that secret is. The secret to achieving your goals is not getting bored. It's keeping things interesting and keeping things exciting. The author James Clear says the biggest threat to success isn't failure, but boredom. Let me break this down a little further for you. Let's say you have this new goal or habit that you're working towards, and you're practicing it over and over and over again. What eventually happens is it gets boring. If you're doing the same thing over and over again for weeks on end, you're gonna get bored. The author says our interests can fade, and as we're doing this new habit over and over again, it becomes ordinary and boring. And so we seek out a novelty experience. So for example, if you're on a new diet and you're eating the same things over and over again, all of a sudden those bag of chips look really good, or that ice cream, so you eat them, and then you derail your progress. You're no longer on that diet you were on, and one day turns into 2 days, turns into 3 days, and your progress slips through your fingers. The author then goes on to say, as soon as we experience the slightest dip in motivation, we blame the strategy. And so what do? We go and find a new strategy. We start a whole new diet. We start a whole new workout plan. Or we start a whole new business. Instead of realizing we were the problem and we just got bored. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to teaching you the 5 tips that I learned from this book on how to stay motivated towards achieving those goals and most importantly, preventing boredom. Alright, so the first tip that I learned is pairing your habit with an enjoyable activity. So for example, if your habit is to walk on a treadmill 30 minutes every day, you don't feel like going, right? You're like, I'm bored of walking on the treadmill. But if you pair it with something enjoyable, like your favorite TV show, and you save that favorite TV show for only when you're walking on the treadmill, it's gonna pull you and motivate you to get on that treadmill. So by pairing that habit of going on the treadmill, something you don't feel like doing, with an enjoyable activity like watching your favorite TV show, all of a sudden those two combined becomes a motivating activity, something that you want to do. It'll keep you doing it over and over again and preventing that boredom. Alright, so the second tip I learned from this book about how to stay motivated is continuously redefine and adjust your habits to keep them challenging and interesting. So for example, after reading this book, I decided I was going to start tracking and writing out my workouts. I was going to come up with a goal, write it down, and stick to it. Something I've never done before. And then I added that element of every 2 months, I'm going to go back, review my workouts, and I'm going to adjust them. I'm going to change them if they need to be. That way I'm always keeping myself challenged and I'm staying interested in the workout, staying motivated, and I'm preventing that boredom. So the third tip that I learned from this book on how to stay motivated is keep it varied. So for example, if you're on a diet to lose weight, don't eat the same thing over and over and over again. Because what happens? You get bored and then you reach for something novel, something exciting to eat that's not on your diet plan, and then you fail and you lose track and all of a sudden you're off the diet. So whatever your goal is, I highly recommend that you take this book's advice and you keep it varied. By varying up what you're doing, you're going to keep it exciting, you're going to keep it challenging, and you're going to stay motivated towards your goals. So the fourth tip that I learned from this book on how to stay motivated is to celebrate those small wins and any progress you do make. So for example, sticking with the weight loss goal, let's say you hit your first weight loss goal. Go out and get a new shirt or a new pair of jeans or something exciting to celebrate your progress, but also acknowledges the progress you've made, how far you've come, and celebrate that win. So the fifth tip that I learned from this book is experiment with different approaches and find what works best for you. So for example, for me, I first started out on Instagram and I was trying to make these shorter videos and it just wasn't working for me. And then I realized, you know what? I mainly watch YouTube videos. I like YouTube. So I'm gonna make YouTube videos. And it works so much better for me switching platforms. So remember to experiment, try different approaches, and find the one that works best for you. All right, so I have a bonus tip for you that I learned from this book, and that's that some days you don't feel like doing it. Some days I don't feel like working on my habits. But it's stepping up when something's annoying or painful that's gonna make all the difference between you achieving your goal or not achieving your goal. There are some days I do not feel like filming. There's plenty of days I don't feel like filming. But I find ways to pull myself and motivate myself to do it. For me, I watch a TV show while I'm getting ready. That's what motivates me to stand there for an hour, curling my hair, putting on makeup so that I can get on camera. Find ways to motivate yourself to getting up and doing that habit. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it as always. And I hope that you learned that secret today to achieving your goals, which is preventing boredom. Remember to keep it varied. Pair it with an enjoyable activity. Keep it exciting and challenging. Readjust those goals if you have to. Celebrate those small wins. And remember that everyone feels that lack of motivation. Even really successful people do. The difference is they show up despite boredom. They show up even though they're annoyed or it's painful. They show up for themselves. So try and remember to show up for you.